slide, which we discussed yesterday, the types of demand. Moving to the next one. This slide says about the determinants of demand, that is the various factors which affects the demand. So these are some of the factors which affects the demand or make change in the demand, maybe the increase or decrease. So these are some of the factors which increases the demand, or in the other hand which decreases the demand. So the first one is the price of the related good or service. The substitute price may affect the demand of the commodity A. For example, tea and coffee means automatically when the price of the tea increases means what will happen to the price of coffee? Regarding the substitute goods, tea and coffee, when the price of a coffee increases means what will happen to the demand of tea? If the price of coffee increases means what will happen to the demand of tea?
Decreases. It will increase.
It will increase, not decrease. So when the coffee's price increases means tea's price will decrease and tea's quantity will increase. Okay, so the substitutes price affect the current commodity. And coming to the next one, the income of a consumer. So it's one of the important factors which affects the demand. So when there is more income, there will be more quantity demanded. And taste and preferences of the consumer. So according to the fashion and all other situations, the taste and preferences of the consumers changes means the commodity, the particular commodity which they are interested, the consumer, they are motivated to buy means that commodity will get more demand. So in that cases, the quantity demanded will change, and expectations of the consumer. So if a consumer, so we are having a lot of medias. So we have seen advertisement of each and every product. So if the consumer want to buy and he is having some willingness and affordability to buy the product means he is expecting something from that particular product. So those commodities automatically will increase in the quantity that is demanded, mostly demanded commodities. And effect of advertisements also. So because of the advertisements too, the commodities quantity demanded more. And the growth of the population, and it's a normal condition. When there is more customers, there will be more quantity demanded. And government policy, for example, what do you mean by subsidies? Subsidies, what are subsidies?
Amount paid by the government for any product, or goods or service.
Okay, so if a particular product is having subsidy means what will happen to its price?
Decrease.
Price decreases.
Yeah, price decreases. So it affects the quantity. And what about tax? How the tax make change in the quantity demanded? So when government imposing some tax on a particular product means the price of those products increases and the quantity demanded will decrease. So the government policy is also one of the factor which affects the demand. And the climatic conditions. How the climatic conditions affect demand of a particular product? You can come with your own examples. Climatic conditions. Seasonal products. Come with your own example for climatic conditions and seasonal products. In summer season,
Mangoes.
mangoes. Yeah, okay. In summer season, mangoes will get more demand because that's the season of mangoes. So the prices also, what will happen to the prices? Maybe in month of June. When we are having more and more mangoes means the prices of mangoes will decrease, and afterwards when the season ends the price will be more. So the climatic conditions also one of the reason which affects the quantity demanded as well as the seasonal products. So these are some of the factors, and we are having so many factors which affects the demand. So in an econ, yeah. in an economy, each and every factor, each and everything affects the quantity demanded. That depends on the consumer. Is slide visible? Exceptions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Coming to the exceptions. Exceptions to the law of demand. So, what is law of demand? It says about the inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. That kindly mute. Okay, thank you. Okay, regarding the exceptions, these are the exceptions. We are having only two. These are the exceptions of the law of demand. Law of demand says if the price of the quantity increases, price of the commodity increases means the quantity demanded will decrease, both having the negative relationship. If one increases means the other will decrease. So this is the essence of the law of demand. But we are having the exceptions as Giffen goods. This was the concept which was given by Sir Robert Giffen. He is one of the economist and statistician, Sir Robert Giffen. So he says we are having some products where the price of the commodity increases means the quantity increases. So these kind of goods are analyzed by Sir Robert Giffen. That is, see the diagram. It shows the upward sloping demand curve. So on the Giffen good picture, prices are measured on the y-axis and the quantities are in the x-axis. So when there is increase in the prices from P1 to P2, quantity also increase from Q1 to Q2. So this is considered as the exception of the law of demand. On your top right corner, we are having a normal goods demand curve which says when the price increases, the quantity decreases. So the demand curve normally slopes downwards. But while comparing the given commodity, the demand curve is sloping upwards, which says it's an exception of the law of demand. So the curve slope upwards. That is when the price increases, the quantity demanded also increases. And these given goods normally focuses on the low income consumers as well as the non-luxury products. Then only when the price increases, the quantity demanded also increases.
Ma'am, your screen is not visible.
What here?
Ma'am, your screen is not visible.
Picture is not visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, it is visible.
It is visible.
Ma'am, it is visible, ma'am.
Visible, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. The given good commodity has a all the given commodities has the upward sloping curve, which is an exceptional. So when the price increases, the quantity demanded also increases. And this was analyzed by Sir Robert Giffen. So these kinds of goods are named after him, like as Giffen goods or Giffen commodities. And coming to the second picture, Veblen good. Veblen goods are the status symbol products. It's also called as conspicuous consumption. That is, here the demand curve slopes downwards, but it says when there is increase in the price, the quantity also increases. Is it clear? Which is different from the normal goods demand curve. It varies in the concept. Here also in the Veblen good, when the price increases, the quantity demanded also increases, but it shifted, the demand curve shifted to the other one. But in the normal goods, there is a movement in the same demand curve, but in the given good also it says when the price increases, the quantity demanded also increases, but we measure the changes in the same same demand curve. And in the Veblen commodity, the same action will take place. That is, when the price increases, the quantity demanded also increases, but the demand curve shifts to the right. When the demand curve shifts to the right means it refers to higher prices and higher quantity of commodities. And this will be clear. This picture says the given commodity. This is the actual diagram of the given commodity. That is, it's a comparison between the given and the normal commodity. So on the y-axis, the quantities are measured, and on the x-axis, on the x-axis, the quantities are measured, and on the y-axis, the prices are measured. we are having a curve which starts from D and ends in D. So the first half, which starts from which is the point nearer to the origin. So it's the half of the diagram says from the origin part. When the price increases, the quantity also increases. So we are having a upward sloping demand curve, and it takes a kink, that is point at which entire good commodity takes up the full budget. That is at that particular point, that is when the demand curve have a kink. On that point, all the income of the consumers, that is all the income were spent by the consumers on the commodities because of increased prices. So their income, or they spent all their income, and after it says when they increase in the price, the quantity demanded decreases. So the second half of the curve is refers to the normal commodity. The first half, which is nearer to the origin, the upward sloping demand curve says the given commodities, situation of the given commodities, that is when there is increase in the prices, the quantity demanded also increases, and after a certain periods, that is after consumers spent all their income, they doesn't have any income to produce. So even though the increase in the prices means the quantity demanded will decrease. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. So the second one says about the Veblen commodity. Here, the second half, that is above the origin, above the dotted line, that part refers to the Veblen commodity, and the below one refers to the normal commodities demand curve. It slopes downwards, and the Veblen commodity says when there is increase in the prices, the quantity demanded also increases. So these are the two exceptions of the law of demand. One is Giffen, which was given by Sir Robert Giffen, and second one is given by Veblen. Veblen is also a name of the economist. So he analyzed these kind of luxury commodities demand. So those commodities are named after him, called as Veblen commodities, other status symbol goods, otherwise conspicuous consumption. So these are the two exceptions of the law of demand. And the next one is the next concept is the elasticity of demand. Okay, in general, the elasticity says about the change of one factor due to the other factor. That is the cause and effect relationship. That is the adaptability of change. Those are the general meaning of the term elasticity. So here, just we are going to take this elasticity for the quantity demanded. So the term is called as the elasticity of demand. So here it says the demand changes due to other factors, and here the other factors is considered as the price alone. So the elasticity of demand just says about the relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. That is how the quantity demanded is changed due to the price. How the price of a commodity affects the quantity demanded. So this is the relationship which we are going to discuss in this elasticity of demand. In this elasticity of demand, it is divided into two broad area. One is elastic demand, the other one is inelastic demand. Is it clear, guys? Able to follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Able to see the diagram? Able to see the picture? Picture is visible?
No, ma'am.
No.
Yes, ma'am. Now this is good.
Okay. So the elastic demand and the inelastic demand. So the picture in the first thing, elastic demand, that is cola is $1. So the customer says good price. So he wants to buy that product. So he is demanding that cola, that product. And on the second version of the picture says cola, the price of the cola increases, that is it rises to $3. So the same customer is refusing to buy that product. So according to him, the price change is more, so he is refused to buy that product. So if there is slight change in the price leads to the biggest change in the quantity demanded beans. Is it clear? A small change in the price leads to greater change in the quantity demanded means that is called as the elastic demand. A place is a little bit change from $1 to $3, but the quantity demanded, he refuses to buy the product. So little change in the price leads to greater change in the quantity demanded means that is called as elastic demand. And the second picture says the price of the milk is $0.8 and it rose to $2.4. That's for milk. When the milk is $0.8, that lady is willing to buy that product, and the price is increased to $2.4 means then the lady is willing to buy because it's a needy commodity, essential commodity, necessary commodity. So she buys. So when there is large change in the price makes a smaller change in the quantity demanded. That is, quantity demanded, changes in the quantity demanded is less than the changes in the prices. So in that case, those are considered as the inelastic demand. So the cases where the quantity demanded is more than the price are considered as elastic demand, and the quantity demanded changes lesser than the prices. Prices are greater changes. So those cases are considered as inelastic demand. Is it clear, guys?
Ma'am, can you say definition once again?
Okay, just a minute. Is the diagram visible?
No.
Ma'am, now there is a graph, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Graph. Yeah, graph. That graph. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So on your left side, the first one is the elastic demand, that it says price change causes great change in demand. That is, a smaller change in the price causes a greater change in the quantity demanded. See the gap between these two changes, price and the quantity demanded. P1, P2 is lesser than Q1, Q2. So little change in the price leads to a greater change in the quantity demanded. That means those products are considered as the elastic demand. Those products have elastic demand. And the second half, where there is see the gap between these two again, P1, P2 has a greater gap than the Q1, Q2. So a greater change in the price almost doesn't make any change. Otherwise, small change in the quantity demanded means that is considered as inelastic demand. So these products, these kind of products are called as the products which has inelastic demand. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The person who asked the definition again, for that person, is it clear? For him, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, pa. And next one, just a minute. Coming to the next one, types of elasticity of demand. So the elastic and inelastic demand is the broad area to consider the to know about the types of demand. And here these types refers to the based on the factors which affects the quantity demanded. That is based on the changes. Here the factors, based on the factors which makes changes in the quantity demanded. Under this, it's of 4 types. First one is price elasticity of demand. Second one is income elasticity of demand. Third one is cross elasticity of demand, and last one is advertising elasticity of demand. So these 4 types are based on the factors which affects the quantity demanded. So what is price elasticity of demand? From the name itself, it says the quantity demanded changes due to
Price of the product.
price of its own thing. Okay, second one, income elasticity of demand says the change in the quantity demanded due to
Income of the purchaser, buyer.
change in the income of the consumer. Yeah, okay. And one cross elasticity of demand says about here the first 2 types, price and the income, says about the individual product. That is, price elasticity says the quantity demanded changes due to its own price, and the second one, income elasticity, says about the changes in the product due to the income of the consumer. So it also refers to the single product. And the third one, cross elasticity of demand, it's analyzed as the two commodities. That is, maybe the substitutes or the complementary commodities. When the price of product A increases, means what will happen to the quantity demanded of product. So these kind of relationship is analyzed under the cross elasticity of demand. And coming to the last one, advertising elasticity of demand, it also says the quantity demanded changes due to the cost which was spent on advertisement. Is it clear? Is all the types are clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, pa. So here we are going to see individually the price elasticity of demand. So this is the equation for price elasticity of demand: proportionate change in quantity demanded divided by proportionate change in the price. That is how a price changes its quantity demanded. And this is the equation: delta Q by Q, proportionate change in the quantity demanded. So while we are considering the change in the quantity demanded, so there is two quantity demanded. One is the old one, second one is the changed one, the new quantity demanded. So the old quantity demanded and the new quantity demanded. Likewise, we are having two prices, old price and the new price. So delta Q divided by Q. Delta Q refers to the difference in the old and the new quantity demanded, divided by Q refers to the old quantity demanded. Is it clear? So delta Q by Q is equal to changes in the quantity demanded between the new and the old, differences between these two quantity demanded, and divided by the original, the old quantity demanded, the whole divided by delta P by P. Delta P refers to the differences in the prices, old and the new, and divided by P refers to the old price. So we are having a negative sign in front of that. It says that there is negative relationship between the quantity demanded and the price. So all the price elasticity of demand formula has a negative sign in front of that, which explains there is negative relationship between these two. So the formula is delta Q by delta P into P by Q. So delta Q refers to the differences between the old and the new quantity, that is Q2 minus Q1, and delta P is equal to P2 minus P1, differences between the new and the old, into P by Q. P refers to the old price and Q refers to the old quantity demanded. Is it clear, guys? Yeah. Come on. Shall we move to the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So income. Second one is the income elasticity of demand. So from the name itself, it says quantity demanded is affected by consumer. Here proportionate change in the quantity purchased, that is quantity demanded by a consumer. So here we are having used the term purchase because the consumer's income is affecting the quantity demanded. So we are using this concept, and divided by the proportionate change in the income. So when there is increase in the income, the quantity demanded also increases. When there is decrease in the income, the quantity demanded also decreases. So here there is a direct relationship between the income and the quantity demanded. So here it doesn't have any negative sign. But in the price elasticity of demand, we are having a negative sign which says there is a negative relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. But here in the income elasticity of demand, we have a positive relationship. When there is increase in the income, and the quantity demanded also increases. Both moves in the same direction. So we have a positive relationship. And we are having an equation which is under the that is y is equal to C plus S. Y refers to income, and C refers to the consumption, and S refers to the savings. We already discussed the same equation yesterday, that is divided between the consumption and savings. When there is increase in the income, it is divided between the consumption and savings. That is, part of the increased income is saved and part of the increased income is used for consumption. This is the general attitude of the normal human being. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. What is the formula for income elasticity of demand? As in the price elasticity, what is the formula? And the formula for income elasticity of demand is equal to delta Y divided by Y divided by, is it right or not? Delta
Delta Q divided by Q divided by
yeah,
delta Y divided by Y.
delta Y by Y. So delta Y refers to the changes in the income, new and the old income, and the capital Y refers to the old income of a consumer. So the formula is delta Q divided by delta Y into Y by Q. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma. So the third one, cross elasticity of demand. So EC for X and Y, that is cross elasticity for commodity X and Y. So here we are considering two commodities, and only I just mentioned as a substitutes. We are having complementary products 2, that is complementary product 2, proportionate change in the quantity of commodity X divided by the proportionate change in the price of the commodity Y. That is, if you are taking two commodities, means how a price of a commodity B changes the quantity demanded of commodity B, how it affects, or if it's a cause or effect. So just we are going to analyze these relationship. Here we may take substitute commodities or complementary commodities or normal commodities. Is it clear? So we can find out the cross elasticity for any kind of commodities by comparing the price and the quantity demanded of the two commodities. One is the advertising elasticity of demand. So it says the quantity demanded is due to the cost which is spent for advertising. Is all the types clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Coming to the next one, PED refers to the price elasticity of demand. So 5 cases of price elasticity of demand. So the elasticity of demand is broadly divided into 4 based on the factors which affects the quantity demanded: price, income, cross, advertising. So the first case, price elasticity of demand, is further divided into perfectly elastic, relatively elastic, perfectly inelastic, relatively inelastic, and unitary elastic demand. These kinds are based on the types of elasticity of a particular commodity. So based on the elasticity, the commodity is categorized under these 5 cases. Is it clear? What is elastic demand? Elastic demand?
Price change causes great change in demand.
Okay, a small change in the price makes a greater change in the quantity demanded. So that elastic demand is actually named as relatively elastic. So relatively elastic demand is the demand when the slight changes in the prices makes a greater change in the quantity demand. And if there is no change in the price which makes the quantity changes, that is, no change in the price doesn't change, but the quantity demanded changes. So in that case, that is called as the perfectly elastic demand. Demanded changes means we'll have a horizontal line which says the price is constant and we are having various quantity demanded for the constant price. So the curve is horizontal. That is called as the perfectly elastic demand, and slight changes in the prices which makes the demand curve a flatter one. That elasticity is called as the relatively elastic demand. Is it clear? Okay, what is inelastic demand? Inelastic demand says greater change in the prices makes the smaller change in the quantity demanded. So that is termed as the relatively inelastic. When it comes to perfectly inelastic, there will be no change in the quantity demanded. Imagine a vertical curve, vertical line. When there is no change in the quantity demanded, and there will be changes in the prices. So whatever may be the prices, the quantity won't change. Those commodities are categorized under perfectly inelastic demand. And the last type is unitary elastic demand. Here the changes in the prices and the quantity demanded are equal. That is P1, P2 is equal to Q1, Q2. Is it clear, guys? Is the diagram visible? Is the graph visible?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the perfectly elastic demand. That is, no change in the prices will make the quantity changes. Any example for this product? Perfectly elastic demand. When there is no change in the price, the quantity demanded will change. And here the value of the elasticity is infinitive. We have some numericals in this elasticity of demand, and if the answer is elasticity means, that is infinity means, those products are categorized under perfectly elastic demand. And moving to the second one, this is relatively elastic, which is categorized as a general elastic demand. That is, a slight change in the prices makes the great change in the quantity demanded. This is the diagram which were already discussed under the elastic demand. The same diagram is here, and here the elasticity value was greater than 1. So always the elastic demand has a value which is greater than 1. Is it clear? If it is relatively elastic means it is greater than 1, and if it is perfectly elastic means the value is infinite. So always the elastic demand has the positive values which is greater than 1. And moving to the next one, perfectly inelastic demand, that is when there is no change in the quantity demanded. That is whatever may be the prices, and here in this diagram P1, P2, P3 are the various prices for the same commodity, but the quantity demanded won't change. So here it is termed as the perfectly inelastic demand, and here the value is equal to 0. That is perfectly elastic and perfectly inelastic demand are the two extremes. And this is the diagram which says about the relatively inelastic demand. So a larger change in the price makes a smaller change in the quantity demanded, and the value will be always less than 1. And this is the diagram which says the unitary elasticity, that is P1, P2 is equal to Q1, Q2. The changes in the prices are equal to the changes in the quantity demanded. So here the elasticity value is equal to 1. So on the unitary elasticity, just a minute. Is the picture visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these are all the 5 kinds of the price elasticity of demand. So the first one says the perfectly elastic. So whatever may be the changes in the quantity, the prices won't change. So the value here is infinite. That is, the value of the elasticity is infinite. And second diagram says about the perfectly inelastic, that is vertical demand line, which says whatever may be the prices, the quantity won't change. There will be no change in the quantity demanded. So here the value is equal to 0, and unitary elastic demand says the value of elasticity is equal to 1, and it says the difference between the price, that is changes in the price and changes in the quantity demanded, are equal to each other. And fourth one, relatively elastic. So this relatively elastic says these relatively elastic and relatively inelastic are the normal situation as the elastic and inelastic demand. So relatively elastic says a little change in the prices makes a larger change in the quantity demanded. That is, QQ1 is more than the PP1 difference. And a relatively inelastic says a larger change in the price makes a little bit change in the quantity demanded. That is, PP1 is greater than QQ1. Is all the kinds clear regarding the price elasticity of demand? And in the unitary elasticity,
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you give the example of each one?
Yeah, come with your own examples, man. I'll explain the concept. You will come with your own examples. So the commodities where there is no change in the price, but there will be change in the quantity demanded. Come with your own example. Perfectly elastic commodity. Otherwise, perfectly inelastic. These will be more easier than all other. Perfectly elastic and perfectly inelastic.
Ma'am, could you explain unitary elastic again?
No, it's not clear. What you asked?
Can you explain again unitary elastic?
Unitary elasticity. Yeah, okay. This unitary elasticity, that is equal changes in both the price and the quantity demanded. That is, if 1 rupee increases in the price, means the quantity also demanded also increases by a single unit. If there is 2 rupees increase in the price, means the quantity demanded also changes by 2 units. Is it clear? That is, the changes in the price and changes in the quantity demanded are equal. When there is 3 units change in the prices, means the quantity demanded also changes by 3 units. So the elasticity value is equal to 1. And for
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and for the elastic demand, always the value will be greater than 1. Maybe the perfectly elastic or the relative elastic. These two diagrams, 1 and 4, is having the value which is greater than 1, and second two values, that is 2 and 5. Those inelastic demand always carries the value which is above 0 but less than 1. So these two also have positive values, but between 0 to 1. If the value goes above 1, means that comes under the elastic demand. And the unitary elastic demand is exactly equal to 1. Less than 1 means it is inelastic, greater than 1 means it is elastic, and if it is exactly equal to 1 means it is unitary elastic demand. Is it clear? Yeah, okay. Okay, is the measurements visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these are the measurements for the price elasticity of demand. So price elasticity of demand is one of the kinds of elasticity of demand which is based on the factors affects the quantity demanded. So of the price elasticity of demand, it was divided into 5 kinds, as well as we are having several measurements for this price elasticity, of how to measure the elasticity. Okay, so under the measurements, the first method is percentage method, second is point R, and the total outlay or the expenditure method. So we are going to discuss one by one. So the first method is the percentage method, percentage elasticity of demand. So E refers to the elasticity of, that is price elasticity based on the price is equal to percentage change in the quantity demanded divided by percentage change in the price. So here these two factors are taken in the percentage. We are using the general formula delta Q divided by delta P in Q, which is the formula used for the price elasticity of demand. Here also we are using the same formula, delta Q divided by delta P into P by Q. Here delta Q refers to the changes in the quantity demanded, Q2 minus Q1, and delta P refers to the changes in the prices, P2 minus P1, and P and Q refers to the capital P and capital Q refers to the old price and the old quantity. So if you are having the values for the quantities and prices, means old and new quantity, old and new prices, means you can substitute the values on this formula and you can calculate the elasticity. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Here we are having an example. So when the price of, take a notebook. When the price of a commodity was rupees 10 per unit, its demand in the market was 50 units per day. When the price of fell to rupees 8, the demand rose to 60 units. Calculate the price elasticity of demand for the product. The price of the commodity is rupees 10 and the quantity is 50. And the second one, the changes in the prices and the quantities are rupees 8 and 60 units. So P1 and Q1 is equal to 10 and 50. P2 and Q2 is equal to 8 and 60. P1 is equal to 10. Note down. P1 is equal to 10. Q1 is equal to 50. P2 is equal to 8. And Q2 is equal to 60. P1, Q1, P1, Q1, P2, Q2. All the values are here. 2 values for P and 2 values for Q are here. And you can substitute these values on the formula delta Q divided by delta P into P by Q with a negative sign in front of that. Because all these values are the price elasticity's value. So what is the price elasticity here? Here is the formula delta Q divided by delta P into P by Q. This is the formula. Yeah. Answer is 1. Is the answer is 1?
Yes, ma'am. Answer is
Okay. So if elasticity is equal to 1 means that falls under which type of elasticity? Whether it's perfectly elastic or relatively elastic, perfectly inelastic.
Unitary elastic.
Unitary elasticity, because the value of E is equal to 1. Okay, is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
If the question was asked regarding this elasticities, means you have to calculate the value by using the formula. There should be steps. You should follow these steps. Start with the formula and you have to calculate the value. And if the value was less than or greater than or is equal to 1 means you have to end up with the sum that commodity belongs to this category of elasticity. And second one is point elasticity of demand. So this was given by Professor Alfred Marshall, the same one who was given the diminishing marginal utility and the equimarginal utility. The same Alfred Marshall gives the point elasticity of demand. Yeah, okay. So on the demand curve, it's a curve, it's a line or a curve which slope downwards. So on the demand curve, we are having several points. So this point elasticity is used to measure the elasticity at a particular point of a demand curve. So here the formula use this point elasticity is equal to lower segment divided by upper segment. That is the lower segment. The values of the lower segment is divided by the upper segment. If the values were given means you can calculate the value and you can find out the elasticity of a particular commodity which was given. And here it's in the alphabets. Here just we are having the alphabets. In your notebook, draw a line, linear demand curve. X-axis represents the quantity and the y-axis represents the price of the commodity. Draw a demand curve Mn, and P is the midpoint of the curve. So at point P, the price elasticity is light off. So what is the price elasticity at point P? Midpoint is P. So it's lower segment divided by upper segment, that is Pn divided by Pm. If the values was given means, numericals was given means, you can substitute the numericals and you can calculate the elasticity and you can come up with the type of elasticity of the commodity. And the next one is the arc elasticity. This is the third type of the measurement, arc elasticity of demand. Here also on the demand curve, we are having several points. So if to find out the elasticity between 2 points means this method was used. So here also 2 points means we are having 2 quantities and the 2 prices. That is on the x-axis we are measuring the quantity and on the y-axis we are measuring the prices. So 2 points in the demand curve means we will have 2 quantities and the 2 prices. So the averages of these 2 quantities and the prices, averages of the prices and the quantities are taken, and by using these averages you have to calculate the price elasticity of demand. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? So arc elasticity of demand, this is the method which is used to find out the elasticity between 2 points. So a imagine a linear demand curve. So on the linear demand curve we are having several points. So this arc elasticity is used to find the elasticity between 2 points. So when we are having 2 points means we are having 2 quantities and 2 prices. The averages of these quantities and the prices were taken, and these averages are used to find out the value of the elasticity. Last one is the total outlay or the total expenditure method, and this method also given by Alfred Marshall. Here the total outlay or the total expenditure is the concept which can be find out with the sum of, that is product of price and the quantity demanded. So already if it is in the numericals means there will be, the problem is with the given prices and the quantity demanded. So given price and the quantity demanded are multiplied and you will get a total outlay or the total expenditure value. So with the total expenditure value we can determine the types of the commodity. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear or not?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. So this is for the that is here we are having the numericals on the part of the percentage method and the arc elasticity. And next two, that is 1 and 3, percentage elasticity of demand, and the third one arc elasticity of demand are with numericals, and the second type point elasticity, and this last one total outlay and the total expenditure method based on the theoretical method. That is Yeah, Tarun. Yeah, okay. So out of these four methods, all are numerical methods, but here just we are using two as a numericals and two as a theoretical type. So 1 and 3 percentage and arc methods, you will get numericals on these two, and the second and the fourth one, it's based on the theoretical value. Just we are going to discuss the numericals on the two part, that is from the percentage sorry, for the percentage method and the arc method. So this is the theoretical explanation of the price outlay or the price expenditure method. That is how to find out the elasticity with the price expenditure or the price outlay. Here we are having four columns. The first two says about the price and the quantity, which was already given in the problem. So price and the quantity are according to the law of demand. Here in this example, the prices are decreasing and the quantities are increasing. So this is an example. You can use your own numericals for the explanation of this price elasticity or price expenditure or the price outlay method. Okay, and this price outlay and expenditure can be calculated with the help of the price and the quantity which was given. So the product of price and the quantity gives the price outlay or the price expenditure. So on the first case, 6 into 1, first quantity, it's 6 into 1, that is one quantity cost rupees 6. 6 into 1 is equal to 6. So for the unit 1, first quantity, the price outlay is 6. And like us, for the second one, it's 10. Prices, when the price decreases to 5, the quantity increases to 2. So if the prices decreases to 5 and the consumers are willing to buy 2 quantities, so 5 into 2 gives the value of 10 of price expenditure. And likewise, when the prices decreases, the quantity demanded increases and the price outlay also calculated with this price and the quantity. And the price outlays are here, which is as 6, 10, 12, 12, 10, 6. To differentiate the different types of elasticity, I use different colors. So when the price elasticity is increasing means, that is termed as elasticity. Okay, is it visible, guys? Is the table visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When the price expenditure increases means continuously increases means those elasticity is termed as the elastic demand and the value is always greater than 1. If the price outlay is decreasing means continuously decreasing means that quantities are termed as inelastic demand products and always the values will be less than 1. And in between we are having the constant price elasticity, that is price expenditure, which is termed as the unitary elasticity, which is always equal to 1. So when the price outlay increases means we can determine, otherwise if it is decreases, otherwise if it is constant means we can determine the type of elasticity for the product which was given. So with the changes in the price outlay or price expenditure, we can determine the types of elasticity. And under this price outlay or price expenditure method, no need to calculate, no need to use the formulas, just you have to determine the type of elasticity from the changes in the price outlay or the price expenditure. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Under the second method, under the point method also, we doesn't have any numerical.
Ma'am, we have next class.
What, yeah? Okay. The time.
Ma'am, we have
Sorry. Yeah, okay.
one more
Sorry. I forgot to see the time. Just a minute. I'll download the attendance.
Okay, ma'am.
Pavitran, I asked to remember to download the attendance before 5 minutes. It's already 10:25.
Ma'am, I just waited for you to finish the topic.
Yeah, okay. It's okay, Pavitran. Just interrupt and remember me to download the attendance.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma. Okay, guys, we will continue in the next class. Okay, thank you.